I was making coffee when my phone buzzed. A video message. From Mrs. Langford. I hadn't heard that name in years, our old neighbor. Just seeing it sent a cold ripple through me. I tapped the message. No greeting. No explanation. Just a single line. I'm so sorry about your parents. I can't believe what I saw today. A chill tightened around my spine. I pressed play. The video opened on the interior of a church, St. Albans. Familiar. The same one my parents dragged me to every Christmas Eve. The camera panned slowly to the podium. And there they were. My parents. My mother in black lace and pearls, dabbing at dry eyes. My father standing rigid, clutching a folded paper, hands trembling. Behind them, a casket. Next to it, a framed photo of me wreathed in lilies. I froze. Then my father's voice echoed out, firm and clear. She was always troubled, but we loved her. We did everything we could. My chest tightened. They were delivering my eulogy. Though she left this world far too young, he continued, we pray her soul finds peace. I was alive, standing in my apartment, breathing, shaking. This couldn't be real. I scrubbed the timeline and replayed it. Their faces never changed. Their words didn't falter. They weren't grieving. They were performing. My fingers clenched the counter. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. What the hell is going on? I whispered. I hadn't spoken to them in years. Not since they cut me off and cast me out like a shameful secret. But this was something else entirely. They hadn't just erased me. They'd buried me. My mother spoke of a tragic accident. There was no accident. My father referenced years of isolation. I had been working, living, surviving. They knew that. So why this? I watched the video again. Still there, the mourners. Distant relatives, old friends, even my childhood piano teacher. All dressed in black. All believing I was dead. And no one, not one of them, had thought to call. This wasn't a mistake. This was a decision. It hadn't always been like this. Once, I believed family meant something. Protection, loyalty, love. That illusion shattered 3 years ago, the day they exiled me. Because of her. Elena, my younger sister. The perfect one. The golden child. She'd stolen nearly $80,000 from our family's business account. A reckless mess addicted to a lifestyle beyond her means. When the numbers didn't add up and the books caught fire, they needed someone to blame. And I was convenient. I still hear my mother's voice in the kitchen. Better one ruined daughter than two. My father didn't look at me when he spoke. You humiliated us. You're no longer our daughter. The next morning, I was gone. No money. No explanations. Silence. I tried reaching out. Calls. Texts. Letters. Blocked. Even family friends stopped responding. Doors that had always been open slammed shut. I became a ghost. Eventually, I left the country. Took a quiet job. Changed my number. Hid from the world. I didn't post online. I barely said my name out loud. But deep down, I held on to one thing, hope. That someone, anyone, would reach out. Tell me it had all been a mistake. That call never came. Instead, something darker did. Last year, I tried logging into my old email. It was deactivated. I contacted support. Their reply: this account is associated with a deceased user. My name was marked as dead in the system. Digitally. Officially. Completely. They hadn't just disowned me. They had erased me. That night, I didn't sleep. The video looped in my mind. Their voices, their performance, the photo by the casket. My own funeral. Without me. I needed answers. I called Aunt Rachel, my mom's older sister. We hadn't spoken in years, but she used to sneak me candy at reunions. She picked up on the second ring. Hello, Aunt Rachel. It's me, Maya. Silence. Then click. She hung up. Blocked. I tried my cousins. One sent a thumbs up emoji and never replied. Another asked, is this some kind of sick joke? Only one person believed me. Sam, my youngest cousin. The one who used to build forts with me as a kid. Maya, are you really alive? Yes. I need the truth. What did they tell everyone? The typing bubble blinked for a long time. They said you died in a car crash. Overseas. 3 years ago. A car crash. I'd never even owned a car abroad. They said the body couldn't be brought back. Cremation. Closed casket. I nearly dropped the phone. There had never been a crash. I wasn't missing. I was here. So I gathered everything: passport stamps, leases, tax records, immigration docs, and went digging. Public records confirmed it. My adequa. Date of death, July 16th. Cause road accident. Status deceased. Certificate ID, ARF 91327. They forged it. They made me legally dead. This wasn't grief. This was a cover-up. But what were they hiding that was worth burying me alive? I kept digging. And I found it where I least expected. Elena's Instagram. She'd made it public again. A carousel of glittering images. White roses, champagne fountains, and a diamond big enough to sink a yacht. Her wedding. Everyone was there. Aunt Rachel. My cousins. Even great-uncle Theo, who hadn't left his country in decades. Everyone but me. Not one photo. Not one mention. Until I zoomed in on a shot of the toast. Her husband stood smiling. Beside him, my father, wine glass raised, grinning into a microphone. The caption read, "To the one daughter who always made us proud." And there it was. Not just forgotten. Replaced. I checked the family business registry. 6 months after my death, the trust fund my grandparents left me, college money, startup funds, all of it had been transferred. To Elena. She hadn't mourned me. She cashed in on me. That was the moment it hit me. My sister didn't just ruin my life. She stole it. But if they thought I'd stay dead, they were about to learn how wrong they were. The next morning, I walked into a law office with a stack of evidence and a storm behind my eyes. Passport stamps, contracts, lease agreements, tax filings, flight logs, proof, unshakable, undeniable. I wasn't gone. I was very much alive, and I was coming back. The young attorney across the desk looked stunned. "You're challenging your own death?" I slid the forged certificate toward him. "I'm not dead," I said evenly, "but I do plan to haunt them." He blinked, then slowly nodded. "Then we start with a fraud complaint and a motion to revoke the declaration of death. It'll take time." "I don't have time," I cut in. "They're holding a memorial for me. This Sunday." His eyes widened. I didn't flinch. That morning, a message came from an unknown number. Just one line. "They're holding a memorial for you next Sunday at St. Albans." No name. No explanation. But I knew the church. I knew the address. It was real. And so was my plan. That night, I stood at the window of my apartment, watching the city glow below like embers waiting for a spark. They dressed me in lies, buried me in silence, and scrubbed my name from the world. But now I had a stage. Let them mourn. Let them weep. Let them perform. And when the curtain lifted, I would give them a funeral they'd never forget. Sunday, St. Albans Church. The church had never looked so full. Cars lined the street like a procession of grief. Mourners in black streamed through the doors, whispering, hugging, some wiping tears that might have been real. I watched from across the street. Black coat, sunglasses, still invisible. Inside, the performance had already begun. The organ droned something somber. Candles flickered beneath my photograph, the same one from the obituary. I remember that day. I'd been smiling, for real, back then. My father stood at the pulpit, reading my eulogy in the same voice he once used to scold me. She was troubled, but we loved her. We prayed she'd come back to us. My mother sat in the front pew, dabbing fake tears with lace-trimmed tissues. Practiced, perfect. Elena clutched her pearls, as if her grief might drag her to the floor. "My sister Maya was complicated," she said, voice breaking. "But she was mine. I just wish I could have said goodbye." A lie tied in a bow. I stepped toward the church doors. Inside, the priest raised his hand. "Let us now stand for a moment of silence." Everyone rose, heads bowed, hands folded. In that breathless pause, I opened the doors. Creak! The sound sliced through the silence. Light poured in behind me, cold and blinding. And I stepped forward, slow, deliberate. Click, click, click. My heels echoed against marble like gunshots. Gasps. A child's voice. "Mom, isn't that her?" I took off my sunglasses. All eyes turned. My mother's face drained of color. Her lips trembled, then she dropped in a perfect faint, as if she'd rehearsed it 100 times. My father's wine glass slipped from his fingers, shattering against the pew. Elena froze, pearl necklace twisted in her fist. Her champagne glass tipped, spilling across her white shoes. The priest stumbled back. The crowd didn't move. I walked the center aisle, a ghost with purpose. Not dead, not gone. A reckoning. At the front, I turned to face them, beneath my own portrait. I heard I died, I said calmly, but I'm here to correct the story. No one blinked. Some clutched their phones but couldn't remember how to hit record. There was no car crash, no closed casket, no tragic accident. Just lies. I pulled a folder from my coat and held it high. Passport stamps, employment records, tax returns, lease agreements. I've been alive. I've been working. I've been surviving. The only thing I lost was all of you. I turned to my parents. You told the world I died. You forged the papers. You filed the certificate. And when I was legally gone, I turned to Elena, her face pale and tight. You transferred everything to her. My trust fund, my inheritance, my future. Elena opened her mouth. I cut her off. Don't enjoy the house too much, I said. It was paid for with my life. A murmur rose behind me. She's got proof, someone whispered. A phone lifted. A red dot blinked. Good. Let the world see this funeral for what it really was. You didn't lose a daughter, I said to my father. You buried her to protect yourselves. But I came back. I looked across the room, locking eyes with each person who'd stood by and said nothing. You buried me alive, and now you get to live with the truth. I turned and walked away as the church bells began to ring. Not for me. Not anymore. Montage. I handed over the documents. Sign a last form. Watch the death certificate get torn in half. An investigation began. Fraud. Embezzlement. False reporting. The damage was done. But now, so was the silence. Voiceover, as final images fade. Sometimes, you have to die in their world to be reborn in your own. And this time, I wasn't coming back for forgiveness. I was coming back for freedom.